Hello and welcome to this, what will hopefully be a short video on restoring deletions. The reason that this video is being created is that a client said to me recently that they struggle restoring deletions and asked for the topic. And I went and I browsed looking for what could I share on restoring deletions. I use a number of models, a number of different ways to do this. What I realized, though, is that we really needed to come up big picture, and you'll see why when we get to the word struggle and how that's defined. But to me, complicating this further isn't going to help. So there's a couple of reasons people struggle. Let's go to that slide right now. It's out of sequence of what I was going to do, but that's fairly typical for me. So there's three common reasons people are struggling. They're wanting to get it right, they're overcomplicating, or they're deleting their success. And so when asked to do this video on restoring deletions, instantly I started overcomplicating it. I started thinking about all of the models that I use to restore deletions, all of the different perspectives that I bring, the 5-10 years worth of training I've got in language patterns, personal development, all of that came to life. And I realized that I was going to become part of the problem if I shared any of that. So one of the models that I do really love is Milton language patterns or precepts from NLP. I also love hierarchy of ideas. I also love, and this list can go on and on and on. So I decided that I would simplify this. And let's look at what it means to restore deletions in the most simple way. Because if we can understand the simplistic way of doing it, and that we're almost always doing it naturally and organically, just in our everyday life, then we lose the overcomplication. We lose the, and we connect with what is working. So the purpose of models in coaching is to expand our client's perspective. Well, the purpose of models in coaching, said another way, is to restore the deletions. So what happens is our clients come to us, and when they're thinking or communicating, when we're thinking or communicating, it applies to all of us, we hone our focus and shine a spotlight on the key information. You can see here this spotlight has a triangle, and it's not the best spotlight. And if I was better with Canva, it'd fade out and you'd see blurry. So there's some things that are really quite bright here, and then it fades out a little bit. And like I said, if I was better at Canva, it'd fade out, and there'd be things just on the peripheries of this focus that shine through. But there's a whole pile of things in the black around it. These are our deletions. Deletions are the information found outside of our focus. So we hone in and we focus, and we delete a whole bunch of stuff to communicate, to think, to not create overwhelm for ourselves. And sometimes what that does is we delete something that is useful to us. Sometimes we're deleting stuff that's not useful to us. And deletions can be the greatest gift. Sometimes we want to delete things so that we're allowing our perspective to expand. But our client comes and they've got this narrow down focus. And our role as a coach is to take that static spotlight and start shining it into other corners and moving the focus and allowing it to navigate what's been missed, what's been overlooked, what are they not recognizing, what are they leaving out. And this isn't a conscious thing, this just happens in our minds. We overlook stuff, we ignore things. What happens when clients come to us is they generally come and they say, this is what I don't know and I need to find out. I don't know why I do blah-de-blah. I don't understand why this is the action. I don't know why my husband pisses me off so much. I don't know how to attract clients. I don't know why it takes me 24 hours to motivate myself to do a video. I don't know, and I laugh because all of these are things that I've said over the years as a client. I don't know how to navigate perimenopause was how I showed up as a client. I know that I don't know, but there's so much that we don't know that we don't know, and there's so much that we don't know that we do know. When we help our client transition from I know to I know I don't know, and then into the I don't know land, this is called crossing a boundary condition. It's also called restoring deletions. Paradigm shifts occur in the outskirts of our awareness. When we explore what we didn't know, and when we explore what we didn't know, we did know. And the only way to do that is through restoring a deletion. what's this slide saying? Restoring my own deletions. I created the slides an hour ago. So restoring deletions, our own or our clients, will most likely either shift or swing the focus or perspective or expand it. And so sometimes we want to swing to the other side. Sometimes we want to widen that spotlight beam so that we can see more. Sometimes we swing it. So the little video, this little video, I click on that and play it again. It's swinging. And then every now and then you'll see as it comes towards the front, it's expanding. So the entire perspective, I don't know when it's going to do it, but you see the entire screen line up. So either we're shifting the focus or there it is. So, or we're making everything brighter and we're expanding the focus. Either of those is a form of restoring a deletion. So either we completely shift the perspective, we've restored a deletion, or we expand the perspective and we've restored deletions. All right, so how do we do this? And I'm going to a really simple model. So I use the expert model as the 4 types of experts, but it's equally as valid here. So there's process, exploration, results, and teaching. So consultants use processes, coaches use exploration, mentors use results, and teachers use teaching, or trainers use teaching, or course creators use teaching, whatever you want to put in that last box. In terms of restoring deletions, this is the easiest way to assess. So we've got 2 options. We can either restore the process, or we can restore alternate results. So in any scenario, there are many different kinds of results that we can get. There are many kinds of different results that we might want. There's also many ways to get there and create the results. So that's the process and the results. Focusing on one or both of those is going to really assist our clients, helping them see other potential opportunities, helping them understand other ways of achieving the results they say they desire. Now, we can either do this one of 2 ways, which there's probably a billion ways, but broadly speaking, we can either do it through teaching, which is telling them what they need to know and telling them what they're not seeing. So pointing out directly. So for example, someone says, I can't find the keys. You can point out where the keys are. You restore their deletion. And they then can find the keys. Or we can do it through exploration and ask questions. I can't find the keys. And so rather than saying, I know exactly where they are, they're on the key hook in the kitchen. But generally, if someone can't find the keys, they're not on the key hook in the kitchen. They're on the bench in my, they're on the bench, or they're on the desk in my office, or they're somewhere where they don't normally belong. And that's why they can't find them. But I can say exactly where they are. Or if they've lost the keys, we can ask, or if I know where they are, so my kids come to me, I can't find the keys. Are they on the hook in the kitchen? Oh, I didn't look there. But rather than telling them they're on the hook in the kitchen, I'm asking the question. So I'm exploring, and I get back the piece. What did I call this? Where'd it go? No, this one. 3 sets. I get back a sign that I've restored a boundary condition, or that they've hit a boundary. Oh, I didn't think to look there, which is another way of saying I'd never thought of it like that before. I didn't even think to look there. Well, that's where the keys live. Maybe you could think to live there. And my scorn and derision of my family not thinking to look where things belong comes through in my tone. So we can either teach and tell the keys are on the hook in the kitchen, or we can ask, do you know where the keys live? Have you considered looking where the keys live? And so we're exploring and asking. And if I picked a better topic, I wouldn't have quite as much disgust in my tone. I don't encourage you to use that level of disgust with your clients. You want to be asking with compassion, curiosity, not for fuck's sake, find the keys. So I chose a bad result in terms of demonstrating the appropriate tone. I trust that you can delete my tone. This is where deletions come in, and you can hear the essence of what I'm saying. So we're going to want to do it through either the process. So the results, have you found the keys? Or the process of where did you look for the keys? And so that's the distinction there. So for example, someone comes and says, I struggle with deletions. I've got three options. So I struggle with deletions. I'm not entirely sure whether that is an outcome or a result or whether it's a process. So I struggle with deletions. Is that a process-driven thing in that I struggle following the steps, or is it that the outcome of playing with deletions equals struggle? So it's not clear. So the easiest way is, can you tell me more about that? And find out. Or I can make a mind read and decide whether I'm going to focus on in the coaching the process, this is how you restore deletions, or the results, at which point I could say, what would you want instead? And so when it comes to working with deletions, do you want struggle, or do you want joy and delight and curiosity and fun and playfulness? And so, yeah, we can play with either the process, how they choose to struggle with finding deletions, or we can play with the results. How would you like it to be instead? So if we look at struggle, yeah, clearly I don't have someone with me. So if I ask, tell me more, they're going to tell me more. I'm then going to know whether they're looking at it through the filter of a process or they're looking at it through the filter of a result. This is our first contrast frame. If they're looking at the process, maybe I can redirect them to look at the results. If they're looking at the results, maybe I can redirect them to look at the process. And so all that we need to do to restore deletions is ask them about what they're not looking at. That's it. So whatever they haven't, I struggle with deletions. Do you struggle with the concept of deletions? Do you struggle with the process of deletion? Tell me more about what that means, will elicit. So imagining that they went down the line of struggle. So I've just explained deletions. Do they not know what deletions is? Do they not know how to measure it? We're covering all of that. So I'm going to go down the line of struggle. So what does struggle mean to the client? So I'm restoring the deletion rather than making a mind read, rather than making an assumption, I'm getting from them. So this is the dictionary definition of struggle from a Google search. So struggle could mean engage in conflict. So are you in conflict with deletions? Striving to achieve or attain something in the face of difficulty or resistance. Now, if a client comes and says, I'm striving to achieve this technique, I'm finding it difficult, my answer is going to be, good, go for it, continue. Like there's no coaching to do around that. How is that a problem for you? I don't like encountering difficult things. Suck it up. That's now, I wouldn't deliver it that directly in a coaching session most of the time. Some of the clients that I work with, I've been working with for years, and we have that level of rapport, and I can deliver it like that. Just because something is difficult doesn't mean that there's a problem. And so then I'm going to restore the deletion and offer an alternate perspective. If it's difficult, I'm not good at it. That's right. If it's difficult and I'm not good at it, maybe I shouldn't do it anymore. Well, that's probably not right. If it's difficult and you're not good at it, how do you get good at it? Don't try and make it less difficult. Try and do it so that it's easier. Get practice in. I have difficulty handling or coping with. That would move more towards the process. So when I see a deletion, I don't know what to do with it. And then making one's way with difficulty. So striving to achieve or attain something in the face of difficulty or resistance, that's the process that's achieving the result. The result is struggle. That's okay. At some point with practice and time and effort, it will tip. But to label it as bad because it's difficult, that's a misconception that's going to screw someone up. If they're having difficulty handling or coping with what they discover in the deletions, then we need to look at the process. And that is probably because they don't know how to recognize that it's a good thing. So I just played this out with my husband. And I said to him, I'm struggling with this. Why am I struggling with this? I can't remember what he said now. But my response in the moment was fuck off. So whatever he said, it was this slide. We're looking at this slide together. And he said, maybe you're deleting your own success. To which I told him to fuck off. Now, and he then worries that he's done the wrong thing. But in terms of restoring my deletion, that's on point and perfect. So the three common reasons people struggle: wanting to be right, overcomplicating, deleting success. I was struggling because I was deleting my success. Michael pointed that out, and my response was an emotional response. Now, it was an emotional response of frustration. That's okay. And so this is one of the reasons that people struggle with restoring deletions, is they have expectations that their clients are going to have the sunshine on them and roses come out of their ass and rainbows and unicorns appear. But the reality is, generally, that realization is disgusting. If you haven't seen the little mind map thing, go and watch that. I'll make sure there's a link in the comments to it. There's 3 ways our clients will respond. They'll either say, I've never thought about it like that before. They'll have an emotional response. That could be happy, that could be delighted, that could be frustrated, that could be sad, it could be any number of things, or they'll pause and reflect. Generally speaking, now there's probably other ways that plays out, but generally speaking, they'll openly say, oh, wow, I've never thought about it like that. They'll have an emotional response, which could be tears welling up in their eyes. It could be an instant resistance of fuck off, or it could be that they pause and they reflect. Measuring, that's all you've got to measure. If your client does one of those 3 things in a session, you've restored a deletion. They come with an emotional response, a different emotional response to what they started with. So maybe they came sad and now they're pissed off. You've now navigated and you've found information outside of their original focus. You found an emotion that was outside of their focus. They will see, hear, feel, or think differently as a response, as a response to restoring the deletion. That's all you're looking for. It really is this simple. Now, there's a whole pile of tools, techniques, language patterns, reframing, Milton, precepts. There's a whole multitude of it. We don't need to bring in that level of complication. It really is as simple as, I struggle with deletions. Tell me more. That is restoring a deletion. How so? What would you want instead? All 3 of those are going to restore deletions. It really doesn't need to be any more complicated than that. You're going to know that they've encountered a boundary condition when they say, I've not thought about it like that. They have an emotional response, or they pause and reflect, at which point you've opened the door for them to discover what they didn't know they knew, or what they didn't know they didn't know. In that moment when my husband pointed out that I was deleting my success, we uncovered something that we didn't know that I did know. I know I'm awesome. I know this video will add value. I know it won't be perfect for everyone. I know not everyone will understand it. I know that those that are ready for the message will get it. I know so much that I've been deleting because I was deleting my awesomeness, deleting my success. Sometimes that's the piece that we need to restore. Sometimes there's a piece that we need to restore in the process. I don't know how to find clients. So we can either extract how have they found clients in the past. We can tell them. Either way, they're going to have an idea of the process. It's rarely I don't know how. Very, very, very rarely is it I don't know how. Generally, it's I'm overcomplicating this, or I don't like how I've been taught to do this, or I'm not sure I can handle the consequences if I do this. And we want to restore all of that. And then we can allow the client to make the choices. As we restore deletions, the client is then given the opportunity to make a choice as to whether they accept the new perspective and change how they see the world, how they respond to the world, how they act in the world, or they can make a choice to continue doing what they were doing. It's not our responsibility to change anything beyond opening their eyes to the perspective, and holding on to that as a coach is really key. Our role is to help them cross the boundary conditions, to help them move from I know this thing that I don't know to, oh my God, I didn't know that I didn't know that, or oh my God, I didn't know that I did know that. That's it. That is our sole role. So when we're restoring deletions, that's all we're doing. It really is that simple. I really look forward to unpacking this further in the 3P Club. If you're not a member of that, sucks to be you. If you are a member of that, I look forward to having the conversation on Friday. If you want to learn about how you can access the conversations, not join the live ones are now only invitation only, then send me a message and I will hook you up with the link. If you're watching this on YouTube, maybe there's a link down below letting you know how you can access the deeper dive conversations. If not, that's cool. I'd love to know, what did you love about this? What did you learn? Is there something there that doesn't resonate? I'm open to all perspectives and I look forward to the discussion. Enjoy learning about coaching, enjoy learning about yourself, and enjoy this wonderful realm of personal development. See ya. Bye.